Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
It's lucky number 13. Welcome to the 13th episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, are the two people I would fight a doll-possessing demon with, Lisa.
I don't play that shit.
And Nate.
I'll get it.
So each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie, we discuss some news, and then we also debate some horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim. This week, we're taking on the origin story of Annabelle ourselves, with Lisa representing our unsuspecting victim. Lisa, this is probably fitting because I do not remember that quote from the movie.
It's because I didn't watch the movie.
So just couldn't will yourself to do this one. Huh?
I don't particularly like demonic possession movies, just in general, or just demonic movies. So like Drag Me to Hell scared the heck out of me, and Paranormal Activity scared the heck out of me. And then compound that with the addition of it being a doll. And I know you guys told me the doll doesn't really do anything. It's not like Chucky, but I still don't like that whole aspect because I had dolls growing up and it just creeps me out. I can't do it.
Well, I saw the movie. Nate, did you see the movie?
Yes.
Well,
I took a 24-hour trip, took a small break, then saw the movie.
Nice.
So, I don't know. I'm sure my perspective will be interesting.
Yeah. And Lisa, so did you at least read the synopsis of the movie?
I did.
It's okay.
I did. I'm pretty sure I got the gist of it.
All right.
There's a doll.
Eh,
Her name's Annabelle.
people get hurt.
Shit happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome back to all of our listeners. And with that, we're going to start with the news.
First eyewitness account came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent.
Okay, so we're going to try to get through these pretty quick because we have a news segment I want to bust out. First off, what do y'all have planned for Friday the 13th this year, which is in October?
Didn't you say there's some particular movie that's coming out that day, right?
Happy Death Day.
Death Day.
Apparently that's our plan.
Boom.
Well, if you're not planning to see that, you can, in fact, go and tour the real Camp Crystal Lake this Friday the 13th. So the original Camp Crystal Lake is actually Camp Nobi Bosco. I'm butchering that.
Sounds
but
right.
It's an active Boy Scout camp in Hardwick, New Jersey. Now, normally you can't go. It's totally like no public whatsoever. But this particular Friday the 13th, because it is in October, they will be selling tickets, souvenir tickets, so you can go and actually tour Camp Crystal Lake.
Is it a Boy Scout fundraiser?
Do they have...
I actually don't know.
Do they have things set up? Or is it just
Boy
like...
Scouts?
Are you just going to like an old decrepit camp? Like, is it actually...
Well,
like,
no, I mean, it's active. It's an active camp. They're using it.
Oh, it's still active?
Yeah.
Yeah, they use it
What?
for summer camps and stuff, I guess.
Now, I don't know how much they've renovated the building, so hopefully not, because that would be actually
Yeah.
pretty cool. I don't know.
They
I want to
renovated
go.
it.
How many kids are lining the bottom of this lake?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you get the full experience and there's like
Hey,
counselors just doing it everywhere.
I'm
Kids are
just trying
drowning
to
or what,
ease our listeners in mentioning child drowning and then the nice child violence that we can nice flow into for this movie.
Well, so I'll say this: if you're interested, tickets go on sale August 28th. You have to you can go check out. I actually don't know who it's from. Novabosco.org. So
How much does this cost?
$50 souvenir ticket.
Oh, okay.
And how long? For as long as you want to stay? I mean, I guess they're not going to let you spend the night there.
You can stay forever.
We're gonna go with that answer.
That was so easy.
Go to their website for more information. It's nobebosco.org.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So next, if you're also looking for another gift and you want to do something a little closer to Christmas, and you have the horror lover in your family, let me recommend the Necronomicon, which is a new Lovecraftian pop-up book. fully illustrated from such great H.P. Lovecraft stories as The Dunwich Horror, Shadow Out of Time, Call of Cthulhu, and more. There are 3 versions of this book, the most pricey of which is about $470, but it comes in a custom wood engraved case.
Is there an actual Cthulhu that comes with it?
That would be tight.
That's pretty expensive.
And I'm just saying, I mean, clearly you don't get this for, your child who, don't get this for your Damians.
Okay.
You get this more for, the adult horror fans.
Okay, so older Damien.
Yeah,
Damien
so
grows up.
me.
Omen,
so me.
Omen
If
3 Damien.
If someone wants to get this for me, please do.
Wait, did you say it was a say it again?
The Necronomicon.
Isn't that a little dangerous to just be giving out copies of that book?
Oh, that's true.
Hasn't
That's
that caused
true.
a lot of trouble?
This is like an Evil Dead situation.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
You just got to remember the secret word.
I don't. Oh no.
Wow. The staring that's happening between these two right now is interesting.
I have no idea what. You can go check more about that out at necronomiconpopup.com. Meanwhile, we will see how long before Lisa Googles the secret word and finds Army of Darkness. Other news and movie news, Dead Snow 3 is happening.
Oh, yes.
And we finally get what we've all been wanting. Zombie Hitler. Zombie Hitler is confirmed for Dead Snow 3. Just in time for this political climate.
I was going to say, yeah. She's like, wait, what? I'm popular again? I got to get up here.
Someone looked at the news and said, the people wanted it. The people are going to get it. Zombie Hitler.
Snow, apropos.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones. They're like, Game of Thrones said we want a zombie polar bear. And, Dead Snow 3 is going to get a zombie Hitler.
I'm sorry. I don't know. There was a Dead Snow 1 and 2?
Yes, there were.
And what in the world is that?
Zombies that are Nazis.
Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nazis.
Why is it so? What's it got to do with snow? Or is that just...
Well, they're in the snow, and then they kind of get reanimated out of it. They were trapped up there. And then
I think it's the ones that are like, Norway or...
Yeah,
and
then there was...
Where does it take place?
And there was...
Norway.
Then the second one was the Nazis, zombie Nazis versus zombie communists.
Yeah, Red versus Dead.
Red versus Dead. So that.
So what's the tagline? What's the subtitle on this one?
I don't know yet. It's just Dead Snow 3 right now, but Zombie Hitler, hopefully, is the tagline.
I think they'll be a little more subtle with it. I think.
We'll see. When you get to the point where you're bringing back Zombie Hitler, subtlety isn't.
Yeah, but then you bring back Zombie Hitler, but then you have to kill him in the most ridiculous way possible. You're right. I mean, that's got to happen.
With a painting?
It's not like he's the protagonist and will live to the zombie live to the end. I mean, there's no way.
So in other movie news, there is also an official It 8-bit game you can play right now on the movie It's website. I think it's like a popping the balloon kind of game, but it's,
you play as the kid's paper boat.
Yep.
Aww.
It's called
So it's a 10-second
Enter the
movie.
Sewer.
This movie will be awesome.
Yes. So Lisa, you missed out. In the beginning of Annabelle, they have a extended trailer, like just a scene with Georgie, and it is.
It's like 4 minutes.
It's the first time you really hear Skarsgård talk as Pennywise.
Yeah.
So I saw part of it.
Did you?
I saw part of him talking, just, saying he's a dancing clown, so they're not strangers anymore. Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
It sounds so creepy.
It reminds me a lot. When I first saw it, the first thing I thought was, this is like Heath Ledger's Joker versus Jack Nicholson. It's almost so different.
Yes.
That it's going to be, I think, much
And
easier.
better.
Well, that's what I mean. It's going to be much easier, I think, to what I was worried about is that I'm not going to be able to separate out the original versus this.
Oh, no.
I think just his performance, it's going to make it a uniquely different movie. So I'm much more excited about it than I ever was when I first came out. Because I was totally against this happening.
This is going to be awesome. Lisa's real excited about this one.
I kind of, that's weird. I know, because it's like kids and stuff, but everyone has always talked about how amazing the original was. Hopefully this lives up to it, but I think maybe it could be good.
Interesting that you must not have talked to me about it then.
You're not excited at all, huh?
No, I love this one.
Okay, but the original, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
But I just love Tim Curry. I think that's is the Tim Curry's performance is what most people talk about with the film.
That's true.
And then people who are terrified of clowns hate it, but they're terrified of clowns. I mean, my sister hates it, but she hates anything with clowns. It's not like It could be anything. It could just be a clown just sitting there on a
I mean, it
bench
could be the
for
movie
2
Clown
hours.
that came out like 3 years ago.
Or American Horror Story Clown.
Yeah.
Well, it's cult, but it might as well be Clown because they're going all in on the clown motif.
Yeah.
Last bit of movie news. There is an Australian film called The School. I saw the trailer. I think it came up on Twitter somewhere. So The School follows. So this is an Australian-based film. The School follows Amy, an attractive, successful surgeon who struggles to cope with her emergency room duties and those of a young mother looking after her hospitalized son who has fallen into a coma. She becomes trapped in a coma / purgatory of her own after something happens. No one cares. Ends up going into
lots of comas happening.
It's basically a bit of like The Cell with Jennifer.
Okay, sure.
Lopez,
Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah.
Meeting Hellraiser, meeting Lord of the Flies, because it looks like there's like some good kids and then some like not good ones among other creepy things. Visuals look good. Again, you gotta get past the accent, which the Australian accent to me is just, I love it, but it makes me laugh more because I think I've seen more like Australian comedy, New Zealand kind of stuff.
Well, you got Babadook. I could maybe dissuade you from that a little bit.
It didn't as much.
Really?
I still chuckled a little bit.
You're like Babadook, Duke.
Yeah.
You guys are hilarious.
A little bit.
Guys are adorable.
So it looks interesting. If you haven't checked out the trailers, look it up. But,
So The School.
The School.
When is this coming out?
You know, that's a good question. It may, in fact, already be out. I can't. It's hard to tell with international films, right? Because
there's U.S. releases and there's all kinds of stuff.
Right. So no, I think 2018. It looks like.
Oh, is it next year? Okay.
Yeah. At least when it's coming over here, it may be already out, but yeah, 2018 is from what I'm seeing on the YouTube trailer clip.
Okay, that looks cool.
But anyway, so anything else on the news y'all wanted to bring up?
The School is a no.
The School's a no.
You're
for
already
you.
pre-knowing The School.
No.
Sounds about right.
That just sounds weird.
I would just say in if we're going through all the movies that were trailers for Annabelle, the Flatliners movie looks pretty interesting as well. The one with Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Where they all go like dead and then bring themselves back.
Yeah, they keep.
That looks pretty sweet too.
The premise, they're playing the game of chicken. They're all medical students, and they're all basically stopping each other's hearts for like a minute, and then getting resuscitated.
But then
so
they
can
like
see what it's like. And when they come back with like. They made it seem like they come back with like some powers.
Additional skills.
Yeah.
Like their brain has been rewired.
Yeah, and
to,
each
like,
time they come
do
back,
things better.
And each time they try to go for a little bit longer, and then obviously they play with fire a little too much.
Things take a turn
because,
for the horror.
Because it's not clear where these skills are coming from. So maybe they're bringing. I assume it's leading to they're bringing something back from
from the nether realms.
Right. So
it looks cool though.
That was that was. I don't remember any of the other trailers that actually popped up except for that one. So
and then Happy Death Day.
Well, I mean, I already know about Happy Death Day.
Yeah. Those are like the three main ones.
Yeah,
that look pretty good though.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some good horror movies coming out. So
yeah,
we'll definitely have to make plans to go see those on opening day.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
With that said, I have a news segment. I want to drop on y'all. Are y'all interested in doing something a little different?
Yay.
Nope. Next.
No. All right. All right. So this one we're gonna call it the Mailbag.
I'm your number one fan.
God, that is creepy.
Thank you. So we've got a message from a listener. So thank you. I know. Thank you, listener. So this comes from John Mark in Louisiana. Surprising anyone from Louisiana is still talking to us after as much trash as we've talked.
We haven't talked that much.
At least we're
about
not
Louisiana.
Idaho. That's what they're saying.
God. Okay, so here's the question. I have gone back and started rewatching The Walking Dead. After listening to y'all's podcast where y'all were discussing which zombie is scarier, it got me thinking about what kind was on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I realize that the zombies are different now than from the first season. Now the zombies seem to be just slow, lifeless beings with no intelligence. I get that it's later in the series, but some zombies have been around longer, so they're more decayed and everything. But even fresh kills are that way also. I bring it up because in the first season, you have slow zombies, but there are also some that were actually running a little bit. Some were showing intelligence by picking up rocks to smash the glass door. Some were trying to climb a ladder. the little girl zombie. I'm adding in on this part, but the little girl zombie was actually reached down to pick up her bunny or her stuffed
Oh
animal.
yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then there was Morgan's wife that walked on the porch and turned the doorknob to try and get in. Personally, I think the cast would be up shit creek if the zombie still ran and showed problem-solving ability. So why do y'all think that has changed? Do y'all think it's just the age of zombies deteriorating causing it, and the new kills just don't last long before being put down, or just the show changing it and hoping no one noticed?
I would say the second part.
Just hoping no one noticed.
You think it was just we did this in the first season, then we're like, yeah, we're not gonna.
If they want to be smart about it, I think part of it is it's gonna sound weird, but maybe those early zombies when they first died still had memories. That's what they said. Morgan's wife, she still had that memory of going home.
Yeah.
But now that they've been dead so long, maybe it's just they're losing.
They had a
that.
connection to humanity, and then as time goes on,
it
goes away.
And I thought that
I
too.
could maybe see that.
You know, but I guess John had a good point about the fresh kills though, because if you take the time, but it makes sense. But for ones that have just been killed, and my only really comment too was, or my thought was, the world has changed so much at this point that these people are, in the season one, it's pretty right after the outbreak, at least relatively. So most of what used to exist still does. The houses mostly haven't been totally destroyed and obliterated.
Yeah.
Whereas toward the end, I mean, you're not in any sort of location where people normally lived. The prison, the farm, these are.
I mean, there's still doorknobs, though. I mean,
but not if they had the long handle versus the round knob.
There's not as much of a sense of routine now, though, as there was.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that.
Now, to be fair, if these are all Atlanta Falcons fans, and there would definitely be no sign of intelligence whatsoever.
So are we going for Georgia today?
You know what?
Georgia?
Oh, that's why they don't run. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that was well done.
Thank you. Sorry, Falcons.
Now remember, you can send all your hate mail
at TX Pod Massacre.
Yes.
Sorry, Falcons.
No, so I went back and forth. I think my final answer was that I think it is just time and where they are in the story. I expected if you were back in the city, you'd see zombies doing some of the stuff. If they're near where they lived, they would probably. Do some sort of muscle
So you're
memory.
saying it's just the rural zombies.
I think
are more detached
they're all
from their-
wandering now, right? So they're not, unless there's something that triggers that. It's like when you're kind of driving and you just show you kind of blink and you're at work and you're like,
yeah.
I think it's gonna be a little bit like that.
So if they go back to the city at some point, maybe
Or
then
wherever
they would
they're
be
from,
saying
right. Wherever their muscle memory.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
That may be giving them more credit. It really you were probably
I
actually more right.
Yes,
but that's what I'm going to choose to believe.
No, I like that. I like that. I would love to see them go back to a city area. You know what I mean?
I'd love to see them do something different than the same thing they do every season.
Yeah, well, I was implying that. A city area would be nice.
All right, well, that's our thought. So thanks for the email. Great question. And again, if this segment, we'll just do them every time we get, the mail. So if you want to, send it to us on Facebook, on Twitter, website, email, all of the usual links.
So that was the first and last mailbag?
Probably.
Send a raven. Send an owl. Do whatever. Telegrams.
Maybe not one of the dogs
Smoke
from
signal.
The Omen. Yeah.
Fire the fax machine up. See what we can...
Bust out that pager.
Exactly.
We are ready.
We're at the
waiting.
ready.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this week's debate question.
You probably have quite a few opinions, but it's important to remember one thing. You're wrong. Here's why.
Okay. I saw a report that Annabelle Creation could be the most profitable movie of 2017. Just based on which I'm sure you have the numbers for, and we'll get to it. We'll get into that a little bit with the actual numbers. But the whole Conjuring universe, all of them, so Conjuring 1, 2, Annabelle Creation, has surpassed the $1 billion mark in terms of
worldwide.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
ticket sales.
The question I want to ask today is, where do you rank James Wan really amongst the great horror minds? And I'm talking to people like John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Alfred Hitchcock, George Romero, David Cronenberg, Sam Raimi, these type of folks. Where would you put James Wan?
Well, okay, so this segues perfectly into a story that I just had happen to me this past weekend. So I was in Malaysia, hanging out with some people, and I was like, "Hey, name me famous people from Malaysia," just as a learning experience. And they said Michelle Yeoh, which I did not know she was Malaysian. She was Chinese. She's Malaysian.
That's cool.
And James Wan is Malaysian.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, he's from the Sarawak region of Malaysia.
Yep.
Yeah, which I thought was awesome. That someone's
so
like,
cool.
the second most famous person in my country is the guy who did Saw. That leads. That is a nice tie-in to basically saying these movies are ginormous. And Saw. So he started Saw also. So if you count
did
that,
Saw, he did Dead Silence.
Yeah.
Now he didn't necessarily stick around for a lot of the Saws.
He did Insidious.
He did the first one. Then he was just executive producer on like a bunch. So I think his Wikipedia entry shows where he was actually a writer versus where he was just a
producer,
director. But yeah, he did Insidious. Obviously, he did Conjuring. And he did Insidious too. He did. I know, but then he does like the Furious 7.
Yep.
He's a producer for Jigsaw.
He's all over the place.
Aquaman. I mean,
he's doing Aquaman. He's all over the place.
And I'll tell you, the ones where he's done the story and director are some of the better ones on this list of movies.
Definitely, yes.
So, Lisa, of the names that I mentioned, how many of them? First off, so you can join in. How many of them?
You've seen The Conjurers.
I've seen The Conjurer.
The Conjurers.
The Conjurer.
The Conjuring.
I've seen The Conjuring. No, I've only seen the second one. I haven't seen the first. But I really liked the second one. In terms of horror movies, I think it was really well done. It's creepy, but not like zany creepy. It's just really creepy. The cinematography is really good. So I'd put him up there. I think he's good. I mean, Malaysia's talking about him obviously because he's homegrown, but I don't know. I don't know if the buzz is as much out there. You know, like
now. How? Let me ask. How many of the other names that I mentioned did you know?
Well, tell me again. Romero, okay. I know. Sam Raimi, I know. Mm-hmm. I noticed you didn't put Shyamalan on there. I guess you're leaving him off, huh?
His movies are scary for a different reason. And hey, how do I keep getting funding?
Hey, again, the future episode, but we got to go over the happening.
Every time, look, in Houston, we're very concerned with NASA saying every time they say we are not getting money, I'm like, what's but M. Night Shyamalan is. So there's clearly money there for you to get. Maybe
maybe if there's a twist at the end of that rocket ship, then maybe they get some money.
The aliens were us the whole time.
Exactly.
Okay, so Alfred Hitchcock, you know him. Yeah. Wes Craven.
Yes, of course.
The Scream.
Yeah, of course.
Scream for all the
Nightmare on Elm
Street. Wishmaster, a personal favorite of mine.
I'm skipping that on purpose.
And John Carpenter. John Carpenter did Halloween.
Yeah.
But also did Vampires. Pretty much anything he just puts John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Ghost of Mars, all that. Okay, so where do you think he sits among those? Is he at the bottom of the list, middle, top?
I don't know, because that's a strong list. Like, if you only put good directors in there, it's hard to put him somewhere. I think, have I really only seen one of his movies, I guess?
You've seen Saw?
Oh.
No, I haven't. Oh. And I got the ending spoiled for me, so won't want. But I heard it's really good. Every time a movie comes out, the reviews are always amazing. So
the first Annabelle wasn't.
Okay.
The first Annabelle was
not reviewed well, but it did extremely. But it did extremely well.
Yeah.
It did very well.
That doll's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd throw him in there with them, but I don't really know them all well enough to rank them. But I think he's up there.
That's fair. So what about you, Nate?
For me, he is low.
Really?
Yes, compared to all those people, it's not even close.
Okay.
But I do like that he is kind of like, I think after he started doing like Saw and Insidious and doing independent movies that started getting like buzz and stuff, I think that helped propel other people's movies that I like better to do movies. So I appreciate that part at least. And his movies are always well done and extremely competent.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they're clean. They're consistent. You know what you're getting when you go in there.
The problem with that is that it's like kind of too samey now with so many movies.
Well, but here's
you know what I mean? Like it's starting to like Insidious, Annabelle, Conjurings are starting to run together for me.
But here's the reason why I think that's actually working so well for him, and why it makes this franchise so simple. He's world building in the same way that Marvel is. All the superhero movies are roughly the same.
These
These movies are all connected.
These movies are good because these ones are standalone.
They're standalone, but they're all in the same world. You know, where
but you don't have to have seen the other ones to see this, which is good. That's how all the movies should be. You shouldn't have to rely on someone seeing Annabelle 1 to like Annabelle 2, right? Like
because this is the prequel.
Well, exactly, and that's why they did it that way. Yeah, so ooh, maybe people didn't see Annabelle.
But he's branching off to the Nun. There's still the Conjuring stuff that's kind of going through, so it's introducing a lot of the stuff. Annabelle is obviously where the money is.
Well, I mean, when's the Annabelle Fast and the Furious crossover? That's.
But I guess my point. Yeah, I would put him up probably middle of it. There's a little bit more recency bias, so maybe that's affecting it. But I like David Cronenberg stuff. He's totally other world work for like The Fly and all of his bugs.
Yeah, body horror.
Sam Raimi's probably at the low end of the list for me.
Really? Ooh.
His earlier works, are very zany. I think lately he just kind of cashes in on. He's got a certain style of how he does makeup and effects, and he just applies it to.
What about Lisa's Drag Me to Heck?
Hey, G, double hockey sticks. That was Sam Raimi.
Hey, that movie scared the hell out of me.
There you go.
That was
Evil
good.
Deads. You got that. Boom.
Well, yeah.
Throw in a Spider-Man. And then,
the Incredible Spider-Man.
Hey, Spider-Man 2 is really good. Not Spider-Man 3.
More in that one.
But yeah, I put him low, but I appreciate what he's done for the genre. There's a lot of independent movies I think that got made after he made money. I think people were like, okay, now I can do this.
So let me ask you this. So what does he need to do to get higher up on that list?
I don't know. Make his movie, make the Conjuring movies 30 minutes less, each time. That would be a huge factor for me. I did not like Conjuring 2 at all. I liked Conjuring 1, though. I liked Conjuring 1.
I really liked the Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Well, and I think...
See, she was in the first one because it was actually good you didn't see the first one because it was better, in my personal opinion.
So I think the Conjuring he just directed. Conjuring 2, he pretty much did all of it. He was the writer, director, producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I...
What about you, Mitch? So then,
man, like I said, I think he's pretty hot. For me, I think. Well, again, I almost feel kind of contradictory with this because I was just talking about how I really like the world building. At the same time, I don't need the movies to be almost hit by hit, almost the same. They're all kind of
they're getting a little close
because he's very deep. I want to see a world where Saw, Billy the Puppet, Saw, and all that exists in the same world that Annabelle and
so you just want to bring it all together.
But I don't want to do it in a cheesy way. I just want it to be kind of same rules, same environment, but just different. It doesn't have to always be a demon possession type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I think people like the crossovers. I think people like not knowing so much the verses.
Yeah, I would say Freddy versus Jason.
When you have that, I think the Marvel movies do it well, right? They have that point where they have a cameo or something. It's not central to the part, but there's something you're like, oh shit, that's how it ties to this thing over here.
Yeah.
And that's why people are freaking out with American Horror Story when they realize all the seasons are connected.
Yeah.
There's that world building element without each story having to be the same basic.
Yeah.
We move into some new location. Random doll shows up. Doll is possessed. Shit starts getting weird. No one really quite questions that it's the doll. It's a demon. Person's possessed. And everyone dies.
Except not in this movie.
Well, I mean, just again,
we'll get into
they're
it.
all kind of the same plot point. You know what I mean? So I think that's the only thing I would do. I need something else that exists in the Conjuring world.
Yeah, I would like the movie just to go a little different. Have some hallucinations. Have some different. Mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I would have another world you go to or something like that. Just mix it up a little bit more.
Is this are you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but most of these movies, if not all of them, are based on the two
Ed and
the Warrens.
Yeah. So they were paranormal people. So I mean, everything is going to be about the paranormal and all that sort of stuff, right? So, I mean, it's hard to get away from that one, and he's basing most of them on their case files.
Yeah, but I mean, like throw in like a realistic nightmare, or throw in like a, you know what I mean, like different points of view or something. Like I don't know, they're getting a little bit samey with some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when you say realistic nightmare, what do you mean? Because The Conjuring 2, she has that nightmare.
Like the point of view is always just you're in the house, things are happening to you, and you're running away. Like I like show like a first person camera, show like a. You know what I mean? Like like an altered mind state, or show like a coma or something. I don't know, something. Mix it up.
Do a whole Doom montage where it's all first person shooter.
Sure, I would have loved that. And the girl in this movie had like a hilarious like wind up gun she could have used for the first person shooter view. But yeah, that's just me though. But again, I've still watched a lot of these movies, so I can't really say too much.
I mean, this. Well, and like I said, I think some of the things he has his name attached to, I would be more curious. Like Lights Out. Lights Out's brilliant. Yeah. I'm curious how much he was just a producer on it, though. So I'd like to know how much more involved he actually was, or if it's just like I'm just backing it and my name's.
Well, he got pretty involved considering that he was the producer, and then he grabbed the Lights Out guy to direct this movie. So at least a little bit involved, right?
Well, but I just mean, but there's a difference between being a producer and just kind of slapping your name on it and providing the funding, versus I'm actually kind of involved in creative, whether I wrote the story or not, but I'm at least like putting in feedback. Was he really involved in the whole process, or did he just get kind of the end of it and was like, no, we need to do this, and this?
Like threw his name on it, and then that's how the movie got funded, or something like that.
I'll tell you what, though, makes me excited for Aquaman. It's going to be a good movie.
Aquaman.
Yes.
Yeah, he was involved in the story and he directed it.
The best of the heroes.
When Khal Drogo is playing Aquaman, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You can't dump gold on someone's head underwater. Downside.
Good point.
It'll be tough.
All right. Well, on that note, I think a discussion. We're going to move on to talking about this movie.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So this week's movie of the week is Annabelle Creation.
Janice says she's seen your daughter.
My daughter has been dead for a very long time.
She was taken from us at an early age. We prayed to see our beloved girl again. The contact started small, but then it wanted permission to move into a doll so that it could be with us forever. We said yes.
So
how does the
trailer pretty much
trailer has
everything.
a jump scare?
Yeah.
And it has the entire story.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, that's the first trailer too. So
wow.
Yeah, so I don't really need to spend too much time telling you what this movie is about. Essentially, these girls move into this house. They're orphans, or they're at least with the. It doesn't matter. And they all these girls move into the house with a nun, where they find Annabelle the doll.
Yep.
And spooky shit starts happening, and you pretty much hear how Annabelle kind of begins. So this is the original story. Nate.
Yeah. Here's the information on this movie. It came out in 2017. The 7.1 on IMDb, which is very good for a horror movie.
Yep. On
Rotten is 67%, so that's pretty good too. The tagline is the next chapter in the Conjuring universe. And you guys watched 30 Rock, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking it's the Conjurer universe. that's what I kept thinking of. Or the Wannaverse.
Well,
Either
finally,
way.
when you saying the Conjurers earlier, I thought rural
the rural Conjurer, and they're very rural in this movie, so it makes total sense. So the director, like I mentioned previously, is the director of last year's Lights Out, which was fantastic.
Yep.
David F. Sandberg. So this is his second feature movie. And then, so James Wan was the executive producer on that one and this one. So they hooked him up there. But, you could see the lighting effects and stuff that he brought from Lights Out to this movie.
Yeah.
And that was kind of awesome. The use of light was good. So the main protagonist is Lulu Wilson. And she's Linda in the movie. And she continues her better prequel than original streak of movies with Annabelle Creation and the Oculus Origin of Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Which came out was it last year or this year? Oh, shit.
It wasn't this year. It was
last year? Okay.
Yeah.
So she was in that movie and this movie, having the prequel be better, the sequel prequel be better than the original movie. So she's on a good streak. And she's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
As a kid actor. She's pretty solid. The movie was delayed 3 months to miss our episode 1 movie, Alien Covenant. So they're like, all right, we got to get out of the way of Alien.
Yeah.
Which movie did you like better, Mitch?
You want to know my feeling right on top of the bat? Man.
Well, actually, how about this? How about we'll wait till the end?
Yeah.
But keep that in your mind.
Ask me that question
This
at the
movie
end.
was deliberately moved to get out of Michael Fassbender and Michael Fassbender's way for Alien Covenant. So keep that in mind.
So you want me to choose between this and two Fassbenders making it?
Yeah, Two Fassbender, Two Furious.
All right,
yes. But I thought that was cool that that was moved because this could have been episode 1 and it got moved. Let's see. So the James Wan verse. He's done everything, and he is doing Aquaman, right? So he did Fast and the Furious, and he did Aquaman. Do you think that he stops doing horror movies and just executive produces them, or
But he's doing The Nun, right? The Nun movie.
He's already doing The Nun.
Is he doing The Nun?
He's got a few
He's directing
more.
Nun, or is he
he's got like
executive
4
producing?
new movies coming out that are all horror. So
He's making way too much money not to.
There's a third entry in The Conjuring besides The Nun. There's something called The Crooked Man.
Ooh. That was from Conjuring 2? Wasn't the Crooked Man? Wasn't the Crooked Man in that shadow?
Yeah,
thing?
maybe they've got it. Maybe that's the same thing as The Conjuring 3, but.
Okay.
The Crooked Man is part of Conjuring 2.
Conjuring
That's
2.
right. So
yeah.
Whether the Crooked Man's getting its own story, and then there's a Conjuring 3 as well.
There's so many. All right.
I guess it's.
But The Nun is The Conjuring 2 as well.
Yes.
So he's just spinning stuff off
man,
left
they're
and right.
They're double
Yeah,
spins.
because the Nun's going to be at the monastery.
720s here. Okay, well, all right, there's that. Talitha Bateman was Janice. She is in another movie that had the trailer for Annabelle, the Geostorm movie. She's also going to be in that in 2017. So look out for that.
Get your tickets now.
Yeah, get your tickets now. This movie has conjuriness all interrelated. The mask that we'll talk about later in this movie is one of the relics that's in the original Conjuring. When they pan over, that's where Annabelle was too, right? In their hall of fake things that they never did in real life, but in the movies apparently they did. So that's in there. And then the nun is set up in this movie. One of the nuns, right, that takes the children. Has some random picture of nuns in Romania, of course, to show people why not. And of course, there's the crazy evil nun hidden in the shadows in that photo. So.
And the nuns at the post-scene credits as well.
Yes. Yeah. And so that picture was taken in Romania. So we continue the streak of Dracula references because Dracula's from Romania. And there we go.
Way to go, Nate.
There we go. Continue. It's like the 7 degrees of Dracula every time.
God.
So there was a contest for an amateur filmmaker to make basically like a mock Conjuring Universe short film. And apparently, if they won, they got to meet the director and pitch their movie to like New Line Cinema or whatever. And that short was called The Nurse. Okay. And it was actually kind of good. I watched it yesterday, and it's actually pretty solid. It's like 4 minutes or something. But highly recommend watching that. That was kind of cool. Okay. And of course, then you can just do the everything at that point. The nurse, the firefighter, the doctor, the crooked man, the straight man, the curvy man. I mean, you could do basically everything.
The straight man may not play as well in certain markets as that's out there.
The straight man. So the budget for this movie,
not the movie you think it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to transition nicely to the budget of this movie was $15 million, and it's already made in like a couple of weeks. Already made like $160 million or so. Yeah. So it's becoming a pretty profitable movie. In terms of how much money it's going to make versus its budget, though, it's going to be nowhere near like a Get Out.
Yeah.
Which was only filmed for like, was it like 1.5 million or 2 million or something, and made 200 million. So it's not going to do, like 100 to 1 like that, but it could make upwards of 200 million just for the movie. Yeah. So yeah, it's already doing extremely well.
Well, and and I think this bodes well for horror movie fans, and that when the big blockbuster movies don't do as well, which lately they haven't been. There's only really been a few certifiable hits, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I think there's one other one this year, but really nothing. And we just got out.
It comes at night. Yeah. Also in that category.
No, but so you're going to start seeing, I think, movies that are still going to just pump out these kind of small budget horror films. You're going to get a lot of not great ones, but I think film industry is very cyclical, and I think you're going to start getting kind of another wave of really good ones. For a while there wasn't a whole lot coming out. Now I think there's going to be
the last like 5 years or so has been pretty awesome for independent horror movies. It's been really good.
Is it because creepy scenery is cheap?
Well,
you can find a dilapidated
you don't need
cabin in the
lights.
woods.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for electricity.
I mean, how much is renting a goat for like 1 week of shooting for The Witch? I mean, come on, that's all you need.
Yeah, it was filmed behind a Walmart parking lot. So I mean,
it was awesome. So that's all I got. But yeah, this movie is doing real well. I mean, even my showing that I saw like on a Sunday, I mean, it was pretty packed still.
So let me tell you this. I wanted to share this story, and I may have in an earlier episode. I honestly can't remember, but so when me and my band were on tour last year, we were driving around. I guess we were near Connecticut, and we emailed the Occult Museum, which is the Warrens Museum, where Annabelle is currently stored.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like $75 cash per person. To go
God.
6-person minimum. Because we were a cool rock and roll band, they dropped it to 50.
Oh wow! So generous.
We didn't do. Although they really wanted to make sure. Keep in mind, there's a private museum, the only one of its kind in the world. It's not generally open to the public.
Wow, so exclusive.
And their website also mentions too that people who've gone to the museum and have made fun of Annabelle have somehow met tragic circumstances.
It's only open 364 days of the year.
Yeah.
Especially on the leap.
Free tire slashings if you diss Annabelle. Or
right.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I will say this. I thought about that story because there's one scene where they're giving the actual Annabelle doll, the little Raggedy Ann, which I thought was such a clever little nod to it. That here's what the real Annabelle looks like, not the handprint. So overall impressions of the movie, Lisa, based on your reading,
I'm curious. Why don't they? We know that it's a Raggedy Ann doll. Why won't they use a Raggedy Ann doll?
Because a Raggedy Ann doll
is
creepy.
Way creepier.
And are they worried that sales of Raggedy Ann dolls will go down? I mean, I don't know how good they are now. That doll's.
I doubt there's any like licensing issues. I'm positive it's just because they wanted a certain aesthetic.
And they got it.
The
doll is super creepy.
And frankly, Chucky has a monopoly on the ginger doll.
Yeah,
area,
that's true.
Does he though?
I mean, no one trusts a ginger doll anymore. It clearly has no soul already. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just gonna skip over that one. Says the person with like the reddest hair here out of all of us.
No kidding.
I tried. I can make that joke. Okay, so Lisa, overall impressions.
It sounds creepy. And that's precisely why I didn't go see it. It sounds like it was probably well done, as all these have been. But yeah, it just sounds too creepy for me. I don't know.
Nate, what did you think?
I thought it did some things well. So the lighting, like I mentioned, was super awesome. The The child acting was pretty solid.
Yep.
There. Downsides, there was like the story was almost nothing.
Yep.
So they had to rely on a lot of like jump scares and elongated like scenes that kind of like hung around a little bit too long. But I don't think that was necessarily the director guy's fault. It was just like the story beats were just pretty spread out. So it was like I gotta make this work. Kind of like Lights Out was actually too, because Lights Out didn't really have much of a story either. It was like, hey, there's a girl who followed me. She died and she had a photo skin thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that was almost
it was
the entire
barely
setup.
an hour. You know, that was.
No, the Lights Out was like an hour and a half.
Was it really?
Yeah,
it
it was.
seemed shorter. To its benefit.
That's
I mean,
good.
it
Yeah.
seemed like
So something
you got in, got out.
He did a good job. He did a little bit better job spreading it with Lights Out than I think this movie.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
And this movie too. I mean, I'm not sure if this is always the plan or if this is just another kind of a quasi money grab. Because I mean, we have now 2 prequel movies for Annabelle.
Yeah.
We have an origin story and then an origin story. So the original Annabelle was
the first movie made like $200 million.
Well, yeah,
and it was like universally hated. like no,
yeah,
like
I
no
remember,
one like no critic
I went to see
liked
it.
it.
I was not.
No, me either.
Yeah.
It was bad. I mean, I saw it later, but it was bad.
So wait, so what's the original? Is Conjuring the first Annabelle story?
No.
Or?
I mean, in the Annabelle storyline, this is the first Annabelle.
No.
movie.
I know in terms of timeline. I'm saying which movie came out first.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Conjuring. The Conjuring is the first movie.
then Annabelle creation.
And because the Annabelle has like
Conjuring 2 is in the middle of
no
there, yeah.
point in Conjuring.
It's just like, hey, there's a doll in this creepy like
Museum.
museum-y thing that they have in their house.
Yeah. But it's not a part of the story. It's just there, and then everyone got like lost their mind over it because it's creepy.
Then Annabelle 3 is like, how did the doll get there?
Yeah.
Maybe or something, and then that's maybe the crossover or something.
Potentially. So the movie starts off with what I thought was a really cool scene.
This opening is awesome.
Yeah, it's basically showing the father, Samuel Mullins, basically making the first Annabelle doll, and it's clearly going to be out of 100. Although I don't think he ever makes more than the one.
Oh man, that could be multiple Annabelles. That was
so. But I mean, yeah, going through the painstaking detail of putting those creepy ass eyes in there, and people paying money for that damn creepy ass doll. Yeah.
Apparently, there was a clamoring for them, according to this movie. The guy's like, "Hey, you got those dolls finished yet?" I'm like, people are coming in every day. Really? They're in rural what state was this? Like New Mexico-y looking, kind of like desert-y place.
Was it? I mean, that or it's like Connecticut on a.
What?
I could.
No
I mean,
way. It looked like Southwest-esque.
I had it more.
Really?
Yeah.
All of this creepy stuff happens in the Northeast. I don't know why y'all are.
That's kind of my rationale.
I mean, it's not like our podcast is named after a creepy Southwest movie.
Nah.
Part of it's a desert as well. Yeah. Right. So let's talk about the Mullins family. So we are introduced to Samuel Mullins, who is a doll maker by trade, or I guess he's just a carpenter, but he makes dolls as well.
A weirdo?
Oh,
he seems reasonable.
He seems reasonable. He's got a little girl named Bee, who he's clearly making fun of these dolls. No, he loves his little girl.
He made her the creepiest doll ever.
Okay, I've never seen hide and seek played with notes before. Like they're leaving notes while playing hide and seek.
Well, true.
Did they not know how to play hide and seek correctly? Because you don't leave notes.
Well, and the mom Esther. Well, apparently this family does for whatever reason.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, who else is she gonna write to? I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I practice some writing skills. I don't know.
Because come find me, and then there's a note like closer. It's like, wait, what? It's like a Marco Polo meets hide and seek. Exactly. It's like, wait, what? The point is to hide.
I feel like I would cheat so much on that. Yeah, warmer.
Exactly. See, this is bad game.
Yeah. So they live, I guess, away from town.
Yeah, there is a town. They show a town.
Yeah, they go to church.
A lot of good that did. But.
Right. Jesus.
There you
go. No, but so pretty quickly, they're met with this unfortunate car accident.
This scene is so good.
He's trying to pull the tire off, and timing wise, some dude speeding down this country road clearly just does not. I mean, has to see these people. And decides I'm still gonna floor it.
It would be like the chance of like these cars passing each other at this extremely rural road at the same time is like you throw a marble in outer space, like in the space shuttle, and then the International Space Station throws a marble, and then they like cross past each other.
But that's
there's no chance these cars.
My theory too is that this person is like another rival doll maker. Because he did not. They're clearly having car trouble, and he is just gunning it down. And then, of course, he hits B. And
no.
They don't cut the scene. They cut the scene a fraction later than you expect them to.
Yeah.
To where you see an impact,
collision.
Not.
Oh my god.
But no. Oh, it's so good though because he's trying to pull. I don't know. For some reason, when movies depict the child actually being murdered, I applaud that because they always like cut away. The child's already getting murdered. It's not like you're like at least you know what I mean. Like show it because it's more. Then it's way more devastating.
Jesus.
I just remember seeing that scene going, yeah, Lisa would have hated this.
No, but it was.
That's why I didn't go.
It was very shocking, and in the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, in my head, I'm like rating 3.
Okay, Nate.
I started at 0, and I went up to 3.
But Nate, was it better than the guy getting hit by the trunk of Monkey Shines? Because come on,
less bricks.
Because come on,
less flying, pirouetting in the air. But a worse result.
If someone would cut the two scenes together,
yeah,
that would make my life. And it shows, of course, they show a doll with like the porcelain face like smashed.
Yeah. Well, no. So I gotta go through. In case you weren't
aware,
I gotta go through. So he, of course, when this car is coming down, the timing is ridiculous. He's trying to pop the tire off. He's getting the lug nuts off, right? Yeah. The tire to change the tire. He's got it propped up. One of the lug nuts comes out of onto the road on this dusty road again, which no one should ever be on. And then the little girl goes, "Oh, I'll get it." Like the lug nut, and that's how she gets hit by the car.
It was a little hokey. But
it was good.
The hokiness was definitely cut through by, again, how shocking. Because, again, it's not like it shows you a whole lot more than most movies would, but that extra fraction of a second. It was a couple frames.
Yeah.
But it was enough to go,
yeah.
So, between this and Tourist Trap, people, please take care of your cars.
Yeah, take care of your cars.
Stuck on the side of the road.
Take care of your cars. Run away from dolls or doll-esque mannequins.
This episode brought to you by AAA.
Yeah. So I mean.
So any thoughts about the family in general?
I mean, I just wrote down, "I'll get it," car to the face in my notes. No, but in general, yeah. Then the parents, obviously. So it flashes forward 12 years, and so the family's been not doing well. The mom, I guess from this supposed accident, it has like a Phantom of the Opera like mask on.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it because it's going to be really confusing going back and forth because there's multiple threads. There's so many characters and they all have like individual threads. So we're going to talk about them
Sure.
The Mullins family to me is the critical part of this whole movie. So distraught after losing their daughter, eventually Annabelle is a movie, and they're hearing voices. And they're hearing that music.
They are like whatever power is out there that'll get us to talk to our daughter again. We'll do, which implies, the Satan, character.
And sure enough,
the Satan character in the movie.
And they start hearing the music that she used to listen to, which was
"You Are My Sunshine."
"You Are My Sunshine," Louisiana state song. Absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was written by a Louisiana governor.
I did not know this.
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact. Okay.
So anyway,
we're throwing Louisiana a lot of bones today.
Hey,
please come back to us. We're sorry about everything we said.
We owe him a little something after the weeks of torment. So obviously the Mullins parents really invite this demon to really become attached and to play off really their sorrow and sadness. Always a theme in these movies.
Yeah, and then you see normally and I like this part too. Normally in a horror movie, you see like a little kid running across. You're like, oh shit, that is fucked up. In this movie, that happens, and then the mom like smiles. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's my little daughter." Whatever. It was like they flipped it. That was actually really
and they did it
well done as well.
And the way they explained it to a lot of times it's like this kind of weird reveal where it's just like they spell it out in like 3 sentences. They allowed the story to kind of build in terms of the mom when she's doing the reveal, explaining how it incrementally was getting stronger. At first, they were just hearing voices, and they were hearing the song. They thought they were there, and they even mentioned the voice saying, "Let me come in." And I think they struggled with it for a long time, and then finally they started seeing the daughter, and they were like, "Yeah, you can live in the doll." And
so he fixed the doll then after the accident.
Well, the doll was never in part of the accident. It was another doll. Sorry. I wasn't clear. Yeah, it was a different doll. Annabelle the doll was not.
There's a lot of creepy dolls in this movie. It wasn't just limited to Annabelle.
Oh, great!
It was all
like
over
that
the place.
B99 episode with all the doll
and
room
the B&B.
the B&B. Yeah. So, I thought to their credit, they did a very good job of really building up that grief and that believability of why someone would do it. Because, it's very, we could easily just say what I would have done differently. Not let the damn demon in the doll, but the demon's already kind of there.
They're very
and it's that build, that constant, and you're being able to see it, and it's just, there's that gradualness to it.
Well, it would be if it was the what would I do differently, it would be don't pray to Satan to bring your daughter back.
Well, yeah,
that would have been maybe the point. Yeah, right. Once you've done that, it is the slope. The slope has
we would
gone.
do anything for our
exactly. Once you go, we'll do anything or whatever. Then you're already past the point of no return.
So, so that's it. Now let me talk about the coolest scene in this whole movie was that
the kid murder is pretty good. And by the car. That was pretty great. How you gonna beat that?
The tea party.
Lisa.
So you were starting to talk about how she's
the tea party.
At 12 years when the orphanage all moves in, and we'll talk about the little orphan Annies in a second. The mom is wearing like a Phantom of the Opera.
Little orphan Annabelles.
Oh. I like it.
That was good.
So she's wearing a Phantom of the Opera style mask.
I was waiting for an Annie drop to come like out of nowhere, but apparently it wasn't.
The sun will come back.
It's a hard knock life. When you get hit by a car, it's pretty hard knock. So
Jesus. Oh my God. So what you find out is the reason why she's wearing the mask is because one night the mom goes in to see her daughter, who's
the
having
doll.
a tea party with the doll. Yeah.
Yep.
And she has a crucifix in her hand because she's decided, that's not my daughter.
Well, I mean, yeah. So once things get into the doll, then it gets more powerful, and then it starts like getting much more ominous, right?
It gets a lot more intense.
And they're like, "Oh, maybe we did a bad move here." Kind of too late. Yeah.
They realize that that's not really their daughter. And sure enough, she goes to confront her, has the crucifix. I'll never understand why walking in with a crucifix seems to be the go-to solution.
Let me throw a PSA out. Crucifixes have never done anything in any of these movies. Almost ever. No. I mean,
if that's your first option, don't.
Don't bring a crucifix. It doesn't do anything. No, in all of these movies, we've done 13 movies / shows. We'll throw out like Castlevania because that's just a garbage thing. Whatever.
Yeah, and Blood Drive wasn't.
Whatever.
Blood Drive's
nope. Blood Drive's way better.
Anyway.
The crosses have been like, in The Conjuring, every cross is turned upside down in a room, which means it doesn't do anything. Crosses have been burned in people's hands. Mm-hmm. People have been holding crosses, and then statues inside of churches blind them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they don't do anything, like ever. I mean, it's not working. Maybe it's more in the older movies, but now that's the thing that does just not happen.
Nope, agreed.
Yeah.
So in this scene, she decides to still try it because why not?
Yeah, why not?
And I mean, who else are you gonna call, right? And this little girl does the straight up creepiest bone twitching transformation into this 8 foot tall center for the Jazz.
Rudy Gobert. He's like 7'2". Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's what turns around and
he's French,
tries to claw her face off.
Well, it doesn't try.
Well, it does. Yeah,
gets a whole half face.
Like her eye is gone.
Her eye is gouged, gone.
Yeah,
like it is just
part
like,
of her face is
plucked.
Yeah, and so she's wearing a Phantom of the Opera mask.
And of course, drops the crucifix almost instantaneously before this even happens. So it was like,
now somehow,
mistake.
Yeah, and then she says that the demon was trying to basically get her soul and take her body,
but then didn't apparently.
The dad somehow has stopped it.
We'll get into this terrible demon logic very shortly.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the family, and that's kind of where we're at currently.
Yeah.
With this family. So let's talk about the orphans. So there are 6 of these little girls. We'll go from. I'm just going to go from least important. So I'm going to say their names, and we don't have to say them again. So there's Kate and Tierney.
Which ones are these?
The 2 middle-sized girls.
Okay. Yep.
They're medium-sized Ricks, yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the 2 older girls.
The 2 older girls, Nancy and Carol, who at this point are not getting adopted.
I thought they should just run away. Well, see, so, and I take offense to that drop because normally when that sound happens, it's because you bid too much or too little, but no one's bidding on these ladies.
Y'all are hard.
I apologize for that. They seemed old. They seemed like they should just be on their own. Like they shouldn't be at the
convent or whatever the next step is. I know.
To get out of the whole convent thing because clearly it's not working.
Not going to help you. And then of course, so then there's Linda, who is sort of. It says Linda and her best friend
Lulu Wilson, the main
Janice.
Yeah, Janice.
Who Janice has just caught an outbreak of polio.
Yeah.
So
Forrest Gumping.
Yeah, she's Forrest Gumping around.
Yep.
So these are the main orphans. So Linda and Janice are best friends, and they're sort of ostracized from the other 4 girls who are, for orphans, fairly terrible.
They're talking about boys. Well, they're not that terrible.
They're terrible to them, I mean.
They're not terrible. They're just like excluding them, but not like in a super mean way. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Nate says, "Get over it."
I diss the girls and then I defend them the next moment. I'm not sure what's happening, but anyway. they exclude them, but it's not like super mean. It's just kind of like, I want to hang out with these.
So,
people.
any thoughts about just these girls in general?
The camaraderie between Linda and Janice was nice and heartfelt, which was total foreshadowing for how terrible it would become later. Yeah, I don't know. They're like, Lisa, you would like this, how cute this was. They're like, if someone wants to adopt you, then you can't go without me and we'll get adopted together and we're like sisters. And it was very cute. And they built that up. Of course, then it becomes an absolute horror show with those 2 later. But that was cute. So they set that up well. The other girls, like you said, it's not...
They're just there. They're there to.
They were there to
allow for other jump scares to happen because they needed more bodies. That's very
they were like, we need to jump scare everyone at least 6 times. So if we get more characters, then we can like pad this out kind of nicely.
Now accompanying them is Sister Charlotte, who is she's kind of the caretaking nun with them.
I would say one of the cooler nuns.
Yeah, no,
she was pretty cool.
She was a younger nun.
Yeah.
She was very good with kids. Apparently, she. You kind of mentioned she'd gone to Romania to spend time with some sisters. Or was it Romania or was it?
Yeah, it's Romania. Yep.
Yeah. And she spent time with sisters there, and that's how you see the reference to the nun. Now, there's also Father Massey, and he is he's the priest that's driving them out on the bus. And then that's about as all at...
Well, okay, so again, we spoil everything, so whatever. But... After the eye gouging from the mom, and she's now Phantom of the Opera-ing, and she can only really communicate. She's basically like the main interaction that she has with people is just you hear a bell ringing because she wants something. Like that's like which becomes and then another horror device in the movie. But once that happens, the church actually does something right here. Kind of right. They get the doll and they line a closet in Annabelle's old room with scripture. So they rip it out of the Bible right there, like paper macheing or it to the wall. Put a bunch of holy water. They got some priests. They, close the door, they lock it, and then, it's contained for a while. The church did that, but then 12 years later, did the forms they filled out get lost in some cabinet somewhere? Because then a priest from the same church are then sending young girls there.
Father
this is a bureaucracy kind of thing.
Father Massey's role in this is very unclear to me because he just drives them off and then he drops them off and just says, see ya, and then leaves. So I don't really.
But I mean, they don't have the paperwork. There's put an exclamation point on the top of the paper or something.
Right.
There's a possessed doll here. Can we put this on a map somewhere?
So a cross doesn't work, but Bible pages and holy water works?
It's again.
Which seems weird. Ripping out Bible pages and putting them all over the door would be weird, but I guess.
Yeah. Well, then, they're nice enough to put her in a rocking chair. So I mean, that was nice.
Yeah, that was good for a doll. Yeah.
You put the doll in the rocking chair in the closet?
Yeah.
Christ,
let's make sure it's comfortable.
That didn't even faze me when I was watching the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a normal thing to do.
And that's why I was thinking about. I'm like, oh, they did a good job. Never mind. This is trash.
Well,
the church people did barely did anything.
One of the church
there.
people were like, if this dog gets out, I just wanted to remember I gave you that chair, so take it easy on me.
No, they apparently just forgot about it and send small children there instead. It's all good. But I thought that was ridiculous when that was. Later on in the movie revealed that the church then sends the people back. I mean, come on.
God, that's great.
Maybe there's a change of leadership and they or there was a fire or something. Who knows? But they lost that paperwork.
It's been slightly less than 12 years. Well, less than 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years from the accident, but I don't think it's clear how long before Annabelle, the demon, shows
That's
up.
true. Okay. Yeah. So then it's even worse for them because it was less time. Okay.
No.
Got it.
So
it's been a week.
yeah.
So let's talk about the major plot points with this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of little threads going on, but they're not really altogether significant. But the really big ones is finding Annabelle, right?
Yeah.
So Janice is feeling isolated and alone. It's very hard for her to get around. They do have one of those wheelchairs, the ramp one on the stairs.
Yeah, so it's like it goes three directions. So it goes up, and then it has to make a turn, and then make another turn to go up these stairs.
And she's told explicitly, make sure the seatbelt is fastened
clicked.
So that it'll go. A fact that she clearly forgets.
Like a million times.
Almost immediately.
Of course when she's getting chased, which is gonna happen.
So she at night, or not even starting at night, really, as soon as she gets there, she's hearing voices and she's being drawn to this
hide and
room
seek note.
that is locked. Which is presumably Annabelle's room, and then later, of course, it's inevitably unlocked.
Transmagically becomes unlocked.
Yeah. So
yeah,
Lisa, I don't know what the review actually said about this movie.
Did the holy water start evaporating? What? How did how did this power start seeping out? I don't know.
I told you it's only been a week.
This holy water is weak, man. They diluted it.
It evaporated. It's gone.
Yeah. No, but yeah. Then Janice. Goes into the room, finds a key, that's convenient, unlocks the door, tries closing it, the door keeps opening, and then at that point, Annabelle is just she's on the loose then at that point.
The door to where Annabelle's the doll is being stored, and
I mean, okay, so
damn it, Janice.
Again, I'm gonna fault the parents here and the church people. Well, maybe the church people didn't care. We sealed the room, it's fine. But you have a locked door with an evil entity that gouged your wife's face off. Let's leave the key to that door in the room.
Yeah.
And not secure it more.
Why didn't they just melt it? Just destroy it.
Yeah. Maybe hammer some nails. The guy is a doll maker / carpenter guy.
Seal it up.
He should be able to seal this better.
A little bit.
Don't make the door exist.
Plaster over it.
Throw some bricks on there. I don't burn the house down. That would have been my move. But yeah, I don't.
I mean, what was the movie we saw where they literally? It was the original with the house.
Amityville Horror.
Yes, where they bricked over the evil area of the basement. They're see, we're fine.
At least they bricked over the
tried.
hell passageway. Yeah, these people did not do that. Again, gotta have a basement, right? That's But then once that happens, and the thing is, and that's disturbing. And then then this is a pretty scary part too, that she's like, oh, let me just like throw a white sheet over it because like the door keeps opening and this doll's creepy looking at me, right? And then of course it comes out of the sheet, right? Like rises up in a very creepy fashion and comes after her. And then she's like, maybe I'll go in that room 2 or 3 more times throughout the movie. It's like, why not?
She's got the best, tea set, so.
And she can run away real quick because she has a crutch on one arm and also recovering from polio. So she's the best person to be wandering off on her own as well. This is when the movie started going down for me a little bit.
So I mean, Janice does see her go into this room. So Janice is aware, doesn't really raise too many alarms about it, but
I thought Janice was the one who got the doll. What do you think?
No, Janice is the friend.
She's the girl with polio.
So who opened the...
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right.
Linda
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting myself confused now.
Yeah.
All these white kids look alike. So Linda goes in there and sees kind of everything going on, and it's still kind of creepy. She's really weirded out, but Janice wants to kind of stick around and see. To her detriment, because because
she sees the girl in her girl form, demon in the girl form, so she's like, she was a weird girl too, and I'm the weird girl, so I can maybe.
Because she finds out that there was a daughter, so she thinks it's like the ghost and not a terrible demon
and a new friend.
And then of course that plays out poorly because she gets picked up off the chair and dropped from the roof.
Now, this
so that she becomes wheelchair bound.
Lisa, you'll love this.
Well, hold on, because the girl with polio needed to be more immobile.
Yeah.
Because it was hard enough to possess her as she was.
Well, I don't get it. Like, she's already like pretty weak. Like, this demon can't do anything. Like this to children. So I'm gonna spoil it. So as this is going on and the demons get more powerful and more emboldened, murders both the parents. Like almost instantaneously, but like can't possess this polio-addled orphan until like the 5th encounter with her.
Well, she didn't murder the parents till after the possession happens, right?
Was that after?
Yeah, it was after. So,
okay,
so
but I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you just killed the people instantaneously. I mean, it was no problem.
Yeah. So
like cut the mom in half.
Ooh.
Yeah, literally, and hung her up so like her intro. I mean, very graphic.
Yeah.
And then like,
crucified her in her like wrists with crucifixes. Again, crucifixes do nothing.
Well, that too. And then the dad at one point is trying to hold a crucifix, knowing that it didn't work the first time.
Oh.
And let's talk about the commitment to
hold on.
holding the crucifix.
Hold on. Where's my
literally breaking all of his fingers one by one, and he is still like. I'm gonna hold down to the last pinky.
I wrote, give this dad a hand. I mean, give him a break.
I shouldn't have lied to that. That was really bad, but I gave it to you because
and I put give him a break in there too. So his fingers just are just like snapping sideways.
Yeah, it doesn't make any.
I didn't even think about that. The crucifixes they're negative. If anything, the crucifixes are causing harm to people.
Yeah, so he gets murdered.
Yeah, all these decisions are pretty terrible. Lisa, you'll like this. I wrote, this is basically feature-length don't movie with orphans. I put that in my notes. It's like every decision.
Don't go in there.
Yeah, no, don't forget to put your seatbelt on the chair as it goes.
Now, so
don't stay in the chair when it reverses course and goes back up the stairs toward the darkness. It's like,
well, I think the impression was that the demon was putting her.
She could have fallen forward. She was moving her hand a lot to try to stop the thing.
Well, this girl needs to figure out how seatbelts work. First, she's not putting them on to get the thing to move. Then she remembers. Then she starts going. And then
take the seatbelt off. Then,
when she starts going the opposite way and she's holding onto the banister, that's when you take the seatbelt off. Yeah. So you fall forward. Yeah. Otherwise,
so it's her fault. Okay, got it.
Basically,
she did it to herself.
Yeah. So later on, when she's wheelchair bound and she's kind of being a mopey McMoperson about it all.
Yeah,
and
the thing about this movie is
totally not justifiable.
The thing about this movie is that there's a lot of jump scares, and all of the kids at one point interact with this demon in some way, some small, some big. No one can hear anyone in this movie because like a girl screams, no one's there. It's like the house isn't that big. It's not like Omen mansion levels, right? It's like
there's no traffic, there's no nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. But yeah, I digress.
So my favorite part was favorite because it was terrible was the nun leaves Janice alone in the wheelchair outside in the park away from like everyone
in the front yard. Yeah.
And then the wheelchair just gets magically pushed by what is presumably the nun. It was some nun-like person that was pushing, which didn't make any sense. It was kind of weird.
And the kids are outside playing, but no one sees this like wheelchair going like 8,000 miles an hour into a barn.
Pushes Jay right. It's like runs her down into the barn, shoves her out of the chair, and then to possess her, per the James Wan verse, the demon just like vomits up right into her mouth.
But that scene was there was so many longer scenes that led up to that where that easily could have happened. Like when she was passed out, she could have been. But then like pushes in, hides, and then like instantly almost gets like there's a little bit of tension, but then instantly gets possessed. So like it was real weird how they did that.
All I know is if I've learned anything from this movie, it's to vaccinate your kids because you don't want them getting polio outbreaks or demonic possessions.
And then demons picking on them because they have polio. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, why can the demon kill adults very easily and not the children? Why?
I mean, it needs a child.
Is there some sort of like child innocence that they have to like break down or something? I'm trying to give the movie credit for something. I don't know why. Lisa, any idea why a kid would be harder to murder for a demon that is clearly very powerful than an adult? Maybe because the adults had already made that devil deal. Was that maybe make it easier?
Yeah,
maybe.
But I don't know. They already did, and I agree.
I don't know.
There's a lot of different paths they could have taken here.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like if you're strong enough to bend the father's like
fingers into nothing and chop a full-grown woman in half, you should be able to chop a little kid in half. If anything, it'd be way easier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Then there's a nice well scene, Mitch, which I appreciated because I thought Annabelle Ring crossover.
That I believe this is Samara's origin story.
Yes.
What is Samara? We do not know that this isn't the same well that
it could be.
Samara
it could be the same well.
I thought the exact same thing.
Yes.
Best crossover ever.
Could be the same well. The doll, I don't know. Like the doll has its own. God, if there was a doll in that original Ring movie, that would have been perfect. Let me take it a different direction.
Yeah, no, there wasn't.
There's a Ring Annabelle crossover, but I also had, is this movie a direct sequel to Tourist Trap? Because, hear me out. There's dolls everywhere. Things are psychically moving with no reason. And young women are making stupid decisions.
God.
Yep, you're welcome.
You're probably right.
You're welcome. I'm just kidding.
No, it's funny too because I when I watched this, I was like, I gotta text Nate because this is so much a Tourist Trap. There's so many parallels.
I know exactly.
And Tourist Trap.
No, I wrote. So these kids are the most adventurous kids of all time. Like they are going, like she's going in the crawl spaces.
Oh yeah.
They're like covering themselves up and like doing like the scary stories with like a sheet. Apparently, kids think white sheets can save you from anything, which is never true. I said these kids make the Narnia kids say, "Hold on a second, let's back this down a little bit. You are going way too far out, way too many times."
Yeah, I just like.
You think the orphans be a little more like reserved or like whatever. They're just exploring.
I just like Linda's reserved to just. I'm throwing this fucking doll in the well.
Hey, someone's got to do something. Jeez, let's get out of the house.
Little Jenny fell down the well, and so will this doll.
Yeah. And then the doll is instantly back there, and it is way worse.
Right.
And then I guess at the end, we say, we're saying, then it's Janice. Or Janice?
Janice.
Well, when she got possessed, her name changed. They was like add an apostrophe or something. I don't know.
That's because she went to college and got all
Yeah, exactly.
She had one too many socialism class of socialists. Let's just move on.
Yeah,
I had a joke and it was poorly executed.
It's Janice versus Linda, the former friends.
Yeah,
she's possessed now. She can walk and she's very stabby. Although, again, she kills no one. No one gets killed. The nun.
The only people that die in this
the nun tries to say
the parents.
So the parents, the only people die. But the nun tries to say a prayer, holding a rosary. Again, these things do nothing. It gets lifted up like 3 feet off the ground and thrown directly into a mirror. As soon as.
So tell me the sequence, because I don't know. Because when did the parents? well, the people letting them stay there, did they die before the possession or after? I guess you guys couldn't remember.
Roughly the same
right
time.
around the same
I think
time.
it was right after. I think she gets possessed, and then the parents die, but it could be right before.
Yeah.
Do people know that they're dead? Do they?
Oh, yeah,
react?
yeah.
They find out soon
They,
after.
they find
They
the
call
they find the
police.
dad.
Okay.
The dad looks like he's blue like the eyes of a White Walker. Like he's that blue, and all his hands are broken. They're like, oh, let's just call the ambulance.
And that's what leads to Linda being like, yeah, I'm throwing this fucking doll down the well.
Yeah.
And then
That's fair. Yeah.
the doll shows back up, and then shit gets worse. So okay, let's talk about the final night.
Yeah.
So that's the parents are dead. They're waiting for the police to show up. So we've already been talking about kind of Janice, Linda, and Sister Charlotte, but before we get to the final thing with them, the other 4 girls, which don't really matter, but somehow they're involved with the scarecrow that's somehow moving.
Again, tourist trap.
Yeah.
The scarecrow is the mannequin in this case.
Yeah,
It's close.
It was a cool little lights out scene. I mean, they kind of worked it in, but
But then it turned into like a giant like Jeepers Creepers.
why is
looking
the scarecrow moving?
I don't get it. I'm saying this movie started out really well for me, and it just went off the rails.
Yeah,
How long was
Just
it,
like the
did you
chair.
say?
an hour and a half.
Nah, it's like an hour 48 or something. Oh, I didn't even write that down. Wow,
No,
my stats are getting
I think
worse.
it's close to an hour and a half.
Are you sure?
So an hour and a half too long?
At least 30
If I'm right, Mitch just agreed to buy an Annabelle replica and put it.
No.
in your guys' room.
No.
Oh wait, what?
No.
That was he wrote on a note to me, so no one heard it. But
Mm-mm.
that was basically what I was
No.
gathering from that. It was an hour and 49 minutes. So
this is a separate conversation, but
Yeah.
no, I disagree. Maybe they're counting the whole credits and all end trailers.
every movie counts all of that. It's not.
No, it
it's not-
doesn't.
yeah, it does.
There's a runtime versus.
But no, but
it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
It's still an hour and a half too long.
no, it was good. Yeah, you could have edited with the kid getting run over by the car, and I'd have been fine.
Fair. Okay, so
Yeah,
they're dealing with a scarecrow, but they don't die.
yeah, no one dies.
It was just basically the scarecrow. I feel like these girls were just shoved in there because they needed something to happen, but they didn't want to kill kids.
Yeah, like one gets slashed, people are getting chased, the nun gets thrown into a mirror, and everyone's fine.
Yeah.
Like more demons start coming out. There's one in the basement. There's one in that barn who's unscrewing all the light bulbs. I don't know what was happening. Do you know what was happening?
No.
I don't know. Okay,
You
great.
guys lost me. What?
It's just-
More demons?
no, but I think it was the
no,
same
I just-
one, but it was like in different places everywhere.
I think he was
and
trying
it
to
just-
torture these girls, but it was
He got more control.
using like a scarecrow to scare them.
Yeah, and then the
It's-
scarecrow turned into like a jacked dude, which then turned into like a ceiling climbing, red-eyed black.
It didn't make any
monster
sense.
thing.
And then literally it ended by the girl got into another room and got pulled up by her friends, and that's the last we see of it.
Yep. That's it.
It didn't make any sense. So
Okay, so then this is
back to the main thread.
yeah, the very end. Then I mean, when that happens, they call the cops. The cops come, right?
Yep.
What do you tell these cops? I mean, like what? Someone's in half. Their wrists are pinned to the wall with crucifixes.
Yeah.
The dad died earlier. Whatever, right? I mean, like, what do you tell this cop? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know how the cops just are like, yeah, no, that little girl definitely did it. So
Yeah. Well, then the girl escapes, and they're like, "Oh, she can't."
Well, okay, so we're stepping apart.
Oh,
So-
sorry.
Okay, so Sister Charlotte is trying to protect them.
Yeah.
The final scene goes back in Annabelle's bedroom or Bee's bedroom, who
Yeah.
we of course learned that Bee's full name is Annabelle.
Of course.
B
Spoiler
is
alert.
Yeah. So the girl was always named Annabelle. The demon is
It's because she's a real bitch.
We have
Is
to
that
know,
why?
you have to know the name of the demon
Is
to,
that why they call
to
her
kill
Bee?
it apparently. So I guess that's why it still survives through all this.
What
That's-
was that a
That's
thing?
in Conjuring 2.
It's Conjuring 2.
Oh god!
Because you learn the name of the nun in Conjuring 2.
Oh.
So that's why Annabelle still persists, because we only know her as Annabelle.
Oh
Welcome to 4 more movies of Annabelle.
god! Wow.
Anyway, so what they end up doing is they chunk Janice into the closet with the Bible verses.
Chuck her in
And
the
they-
Bible verse
and
closet.
they drop a whole cabinet in front of the door to basically keep her.
That was it.
Oh, so they added an element.
Yeah, so the adult finally figures out like, oh wait, I'm like 5 times bigger than this girl. Maybe I should just like throw her somewhere. Done.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
And so anyway, so they bring in the police. The police do a whole inspection, and they look. The only thing left is the doll.
And there's a hole in the
and there's a hole in the wall.
Bible wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
like in that wall of been.
Now the best part is Father Massey shows back up.
Oh, this is the funniest part.
And
of the
My
entire
bad.
And he's like, "Hey, so the doll is pretty much
So the house
clear."
and the doll have been.
He pulls out Ace Ventura. This house is clear.
No, okay, but if they took the doll, I guess the demon left the doll, right? So it went in.
It's in
Janice.
Janice.
So I guess it was gone, but he's like, oh, this whole place is cleansed. Yeah. And then he's holding the doll. He's holding Annabelle. Okay, Lisa, get ready for this. He's holding Annabelle, and they're all the 5 girls now, right? Because Janice is just ran off being possessed. Yeah. He goes, oh, do you guys want this doll? Like, who wants it?
Oh my gosh!
And in my theater, everyone laughed. Every single person. It was hilarious. Yeah. And these girls are like, fuck you. Yeah. And everyone's face is just like, I hate you. Yeah. I hate you for bringing me here. I hate you for everything. I hate you for this joke. It was the worst, but awesome at the same time.
So the final part of this movie, we end it with them, and we wonder whatever happened to Janice. Well, it turns out she is in a whole nother. You may be right actually now to think about it, because I think she is in like Santa Clara or some like place in California. So maybe you're right where it takes place.
I think so.
Arizona. So she ends up in another orphanage, and these parents are adopting her, and they ask her what her name is, and she says, "My name's Annabelle."
Yep.
So another 12 years later, we find out that she is the estranged daughter, Annabelle, of this couple next door. She and her boyfriend murder the 2 parents that adopted her, and it then flips over to the very opening scene
of
the first Annabelle film, where she is leading the disciples of the Ram, and that's how it starts.
That's it.
So that is the movie. Any last thoughts? At least, so any thoughts from you on the discussion overall? Now that you've heard what we talked about,
so you're like, oh my god, I want to see this movie now.
No,
right?
I'm like, I made the right decision.
You made the right call.
Thank goodness I did not sit through this.
If anything, when it comes out, you can just show her like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
When it comes out on video or something.
Yeah, particularly the last one with the cop.
Yeah, the priest joke, girl getting run over by car, and then what was your Mitch? What was your favorite what was your favorite jump scare? I guess in this one.
Favorite? Ugh.
Like what was like the most memorable?
The demon one you would transform into the demon.
Yeah, the tea party was pretty awesome.
The tea party one, okay, that was pretty good.
I wasn't so much a jump scare as much it was just a great visual. It looked clean. Some of those, they look very hokey. Like her when she turns around, her face changes and she's like, "Your soul." Yeah, that was really cheesy. But the one where she's like body changing is like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was thinking about giving it that one, but that cliche of like everyone's bones breaking or like mouths like opening up forever, which this same actress did in the Oculus movie.
Was it Oculus or Ouija?
No, Ouija. I said Oculus like earlier too. I meant Ouija. Yeah, sorry. And Ouija. And then so I would say it was the one where the doll goes underneath the sheet and then comes at her and then like disappears like right next to her or whatever. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's like you gotta do a lot to make like a plain white sheet.
Be creepy.
Be creepy now, and they totally did that.
All right. Well, now that we've kind of talked through the majority of the movie, I guess I want to ask you both what you would have done differently.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Lisa.
Yeah. So the second that you realize that you let a demon in the doll instead of your daughter, you
get out.
Put the Bible papers, you douse it with holy water, you lock the door, you get out, and you burn the whole place to the ground.
Done. That's a good idea. I'm changing mine now. That was basically what I wrote down.
Bam.
Yeah. Burn the house down.
Get the those memes where people saw a spider and they say just burn it to the ground? Come on. Same thing.
That's fair. All right, well, I'm going to change mine now. I said burn the house down. I wrote that down literally. I would say if you're not going to burn the house down, do a better job locking this doll up. Okay? Yeah. And then conversely, once you've been haunted by something, so maybe like, okay, the first time Annabelle's there, right? And you're like, oh, this is interesting. There's a key, there's a note, and I'm bored because all the kids are playing outside and I have polio. So I'm recovering inside, so it's boring. Once you see that ghost thing come at you and like all the scariness, don't go back in the room. Mm-hmm. And then tell adults. Yeah. So mine's a 3-parter.
Yeah. Well, I like
everything. Can I just say do everything differently? Is that am I allowed to do that?
And what I like about your tell adult is that you're part of a religious institution with the nun, Father Massey, all that.
Yeah.
If you say that doll is possessed and I found it in a room full of Bible scripture, I feel like those would be the people who would most likely believe you.
Yeah. Well, no, the nun says don't say anything because they might kick us out in the movie. So I think that contributed to it. So bad nunning.
I thought that was just about being in the room, though. She didn't mention, I found the doll with Bible scripture all hanging.
Well, no, but once she said that, once you get to the doll part, then Janice was like, "Oh, I'm done with this. I'm not going to say anything." But yeah, she kept going back. Stop going back.
I would say this is the first time though that we've all settled on the same. What would you have done differently? Because I went a different approach though. I said you like fill it with cement or something.
Yeah.
Like, or you do this whole room, but maybe you do it underground and you bury it around in like a different casing of cement, like an old school like bomb bunker.
You know what's better than a room full of scriptures? How about a well full of scriptures?
Yeah.
And then the holy water rests at the bottom. Oh my God. So much better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally any of those.
Yeah, anything.
What actually happened.
Anything.
With like, a hidden key. I bet the demon won't know where we put that. Okay, so awards, Nate.
Okay, I got 2. I got most worthless Phantom of the Opera award to the mom. Nice. She's worthless. All she does is ring the bell, and she says nothing about the story until the very end when everyone's like getting like terrorized.
Yeah,
and I give the Curiosity Possessed the Cat award to Janice because she kept going in the room. Stop it. She deserved the possession.
No,
I feel like she deserved
a little bit.
Yeah,
Lisa.
I'll give it to best unlikely healer because I think y'all skipped over the part. Didn't when she got possessed, she was cured of her polio.
Oh yeah.
So best alternative medicine.
You're healed.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There are distinct advantages to being possessed by a demon.
Lisa, this is why you're on the show. That was fantastic.
Nothing cures polio quite like a demon possession. So
it's like, look on the bright side. Come on. There's a silver lining here.
Oh my God.
Finding cures for it every day.
Oh no. That's fantastic. So mine isn't going to be anywhere near as funny or clever. But I just put best doll maker to Samuel. More that it was better than what we saw in Tourist Trap, where I gave the worst doll maker.
Oh, what? Come on.
He at least understood the finer points of making sure you're working with a smooth, even surface, not just clumping on a whole bunch of plaster.
Yeah, but in the end, this one was creepier, so it was worse. Because then the actual doll itself is worse. At least the mannequins have some utility. I mean, come on.
What I can't get into this again with you. I can't. All right, that brings us to our final section.
Final cut.
And I'm going to start it off this week. I give this movie 6 out of 10 demonic tea parties. Even despite some of the stuff that didn't make a whole lot of sense, I still thought it was clean. If you're going to get scared, which is again the ultimate goal of these horror movies, it's still pretty good. It still was kind of tense through it, even though it doesn't really scare me because jump scares don't bother me. But if you are susceptible to jump scares, this movie will get you every time. So I gave it 6 out of 10.
Okay, Lisa, you have an incomplete, I guess.
Can I give it?
Yeah, go ahead. Give a score.
This is like a provisional score.
I mean, you guys make it sound like it was well made, even though I probably would have hated it.
Yeah.
So let's say a 2 out of 10. I don't play that shit.
Okay.
I like it. All right,
I don't think I'm going to count that in the official tally, but it is noted for the record.
Yeah.
Brought my average down.
So I guess I'll say that this movie, I started out loving it, and then as time went on, it like dropped for me. There were a lot of jump scares, but there's so many, like kind of in a row, like across like multiple like areas. Even like it kind of just like lessened every time because there's so many. It like kind of lessened the overall impact for me. But that said, there were some really cool parts. So I'm gonna give this 5 out of 10 loose lug nuts.
Nice. Okay, well, that wraps it up for this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
So they can find us on Twitter at TXPodMassacre. We have a Facebook group. We have TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Check us out there. Leave comments. If you have a mailbag-like question,
Subscribe on iTunes.
send it to us. Subscribe on iTunes. Our parody videos are, in my personal opinion, freaking hilarious.
Yep.
People in Singapore laughed at them, so that's about as glowing a recommendation I can possibly give. But yeah, check out all of our stuff. Feel free to leave some comments. And we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So for all of us here, once again, at Texas Podcast Massacre, just keep telling yourself, it's only a movie. Good night.